Your card.
Who's that? Is that you, Edmund?
Yes. Oh.
Turn out that light before you come in. I'm glad you've come, lad. I've been damned lonely. You're a fine one to run away and leave me to sit alone here all night. I told you to turn out that light. We're not giving a ball. There's no reason to have the house ablaze with electricity at this time of night, burning up money.
A blaze of electricity? One bulb. Hell, everyone keeps a light on in the front hall till they go to bed. Oh, damn near bust money on the hat stand.
The light from here shows in the hall. You could see well enough if you were sober.
If I was sober. I like that.
I don't give a damn what other people do. If they want to be wasteful fools for the sake of show, let them be.
One bulb! Christ. At least it's a cheapskate. I approve. 5 figures. If you left the light bulbs on all night, it wouldn't be as much as one drink.
To hell with your figures. The proof is in the bills that I have to pay.
Yes. Facts don't mean a thing, do they? What you want to believe, that's the only truth. Shakespeare was an Irish Catholic, for example.
So he was. The proof is in the plays.
Well, he wasn't. And there's no proof of it in his plays except to you. The Duke of Wellington, there's another good Irish Catholic.
I never said he was a good one. He was a renegade, but a Catholic just the same.
Well, he wasn't. You just want to believe no one but an Irish Catholic general could beat Napoleon.
I'm not going to argue with you. I asked you to turn out that light in the hall.
I heard you! And as far as I'm concerned, it stays on.
None of your damned insolence. Are you going to obey me or not?
Not! If you want to be a crazy miser, put it out yourself.
You listen to me. I've put up with a lot from you. Because from the mad things that you've done at times, I thought you weren't quite right in the head. And I've never lifted a hand to you. But there is a straw that breaks the camel's back. You'll obey me and put out that light, or as big as you are, I'll give you a thrashing nibble! Lad, forgive me. I forgot. You shouldn't goad me into losing my temper.
Forget it. I apologize too. I had no right being nasty about nothing. I am a bit soused, I guess. I'll put up the damn light.
No, stay where you are. Let it burn. We'll have them all on. Let them burn. To hell with it. The poorhouse is the end of the road, and it might as well be sooner as later. Oh.
You're a wonder, Papa.
Hell with it. The final curtain will be the poorhouse just the same, and that's not comedy. Well, well, lad, let's not argue. You got brains in that head of yours, though you do your best to deny them. You'll learn to live the value of $1. You're not like your damn tramp of a brother. I've given up hope that he'll ever get sense. Where is he anyway?
How will I know?
I thought you went uptown to meet him.
No. I walked out to the beach. I haven't seen him since this afternoon.
If you split the money I gave you with him like a fool...
Sure I did! He's always staked me when he had anything.
Well, then it doesn't take a soothsayer to say that he's probably in the whorehouse.
What of it if he is? Why not?
Why not, indeed? It's a fit place for him. If he's ever known a loftier dream than whores and whiskey, he's never shown it.
For Pete's sake, Pop, if you're gonna start that stuff, I'll beat it.
All right. All right. I'll stop. God knows I don't like the subject either. Will you join me in a drink, lad?
Now you're talking.
I'm wrong to treat you. You've had enough already.
Enough is not as good as a feast.
Enough in your condition.
Forget my condition. Here's how.
Drink hearty, lad. If you walked all the way to the beach, you must be damp and chilled.
I dropped in at the inn on the way out and back.
It's not a night I'd pick for a long walk.
I loved the fog. It was what I needed.
You should have more sense than to risk of going
It's
out.
a hell of sense! We're all crazy. What do we want with sense? They are not long, the days of wine and roses. Out of a misty dream, our path emerges for a while, then closes within a dream. The fog was where I wanted to be. Halfway down the path, you can't see this house. You never know it was here.
Stay right there, stay private, you're doing great. Go back to the poem, Michael. keep your face very simple. Don't move it at all. And take a big, big breath. There, right there, Michael. Right there, pal.
They are not long, the days of wine and roses.
Big breath.
Out of a misty dream, our path emerges for a while, then closes within a dream.
Relax the face.
The fog was where I wanted to be. Halfway down the path, you can't see this house.
Say that again.
Halfway down the path, you can't see this house. You'd never know it was here, or any of the others along the avenue. I couldn't see but a few feet ahead. I didn't meet a soul. Everything looked and sounded unreal. Nothing was what it is. That's what I wanted. To be alone with myself. In a world where truth is untrue and life can hide from itself.
There's a poet in you, that's for sure. But a damned morbid one. Why can't you remember your Shakespeare and forget the third-raters? You'll find what you're trying to say in him and everything else worth saying. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little lives are rounded in a sleep.
Fine. That's beautiful. But I wasn't trying to say that. We are such stuff as manure is made on, so let's drink up and forget it. That's all mine.
Oh. Oh. To hell with your sentiments. I was wrong to give you that drink.
What's wrong with being drunk? It's what we're after, isn't it? Let's not kid each other, Papa. Not tonight. We know what we're trying to forget. Be always drunken.
Oh.
Nothing else matters. If you would not feel the horrible burden of time weighing on your shoulders and crushing you to the earth, be drunken continually. Drunken with what? With wine, with poetry, or with virtue, as you will, but be drunken.
I wouldn't worry about the virtue part of it if I were you. The little truth that is in it, you can find nobly said in Shakespeare. But you recited it well, lad. Where do you get your taste in authors? I mean, that damn library of yours. Schopenhauer. Nietzsche, Ibsen, atheists, fools, and madmen. Well, I've got 3 good sets of Shakespeare there, you can.
They say he was a souse too.
They lie. I don't doubt that he liked his class. I mean, it's a good man's failing. But he knew how to drink, so he didn't poison his brain with morbidness and filth. Don't compare him with that pack you got over there. Your dirty Zola and your Dante Gabriel Rossetti, who was a dog fiend. Oh.
Perhaps it would be wise we change the subject.
Do you hear?
She's coming downstairs.
No. Lad, stay here. I thought she'd gone to sleep.
I don't see her. Let's forget it. How about another drink?
She's moving around a lot. I hope to God she doesn't come down.
Yes. She'll be nothing but a ghost haunting the past by this time. Back before I was born.
Doesn't she do the same with me? Back before she ever knew me. You would think that the only happy days she's ever known were in her father's home, or in the convent, praying and playing the piano. As I've told you before, lad, you must take her tales of the past with a grain of salt. Her wonderful home was ordinary enough. Her father, he wasn't the great, generous, noble Irishman that she makes out. I mean, he was a nice enough man. I mean, he was good company and a good talker. I liked him, and he liked me. I mean, he was a capable man. But he had his weakness. She condemns me for my drinking, but she forgets his. Oh, it's true he didn't touch a drop until he was 40. But he made up for that afterwards, I'll tell you. He became a steady champagne drinker. I mean, the worst kind. Ah, it was his grand pose to drink only champagne. Well, it got him quick enough, that's for sure. That and the consumption.
We don't seem able to avoid unpleasant topics, do we?
No. What do you say to a game or two of casino, lad?
All right.
We can't lock up until JB comes back. on the last trolley, which I hope he doesn't. And I don't want to go upstairs anyway until she's asleep.
Neither do I.
As I was saying, you must take her tales of the past with a grain of salt. I mean, her piano playing and the dream of becoming a concert pianist. I mean, that was put into her head by the nuns, flattering her. She was their pet. They loved her because she was so devout. Oh, and the thought of her becoming a nun, I mean, that's the worst. I mean, she was the most beautiful girl you could ever see. I mean, she knew it too. Behind all her shyness and blushing, I mean, she was full of health and high spirits and loving. For God's sake, Papa. Okay.
Why did you look at your hand?
Okay. Oh. Listen.
She's coming downstairs.
No, let's just play. Let's just play. We'll pretend. And maybe she'll go back up again.
I don't see it. She must have started down then turned back.
Oh. She's terribly frightened, lad, of your sickness, for all her pretending. Oh. You must not be too hard on her, lad. You got to remember, it's not her fault. It's not her responsibility.
Let's talk a little bit, because there's much that's good here, much that's good, and much that's improved. What's going on, Lindsay? No, don't do that. Just express what's happening. Because you're really rehearsing, the two of you, and you're finding moments, and it's wonderful. But this is rehearsal. It's not. You're not going to be perfect in Long Day's Journey in tonight. At least not till tomorrow.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, what's going on right now? Because I want to backtrack.
I just got lost.
Yeah, you did. You got lost. And part of that is because you're looking and you're dealing with imagery and you're dealing with intention, but you've got to find also the part of him that's a gossip. When he talks about your mother, you know, she was, because he's starting to be a little bit too much information about her youth and her beauty and the nuns, and because his guilt, the guilt in the family, and the fact that she was so devout and that he, in a sense, ruined her. But he's saying, I didn't ruin her. She was a liar. She wanted to fuck. She wanted to live. She wanted to go to parties. She wanted to be pretty. It was all a ruse. It was all a cover. She's a what? What's that? A hypocrite. She's a hypocrite. But do you understand? So just your mother, you know, I'm not telling you something. Let me tell you about your mother, you know. But oh my God, she was gorgeous. My God, you know, a man couldn't resist fucking her. And he started, so that's got to have a different rhythm and a different tempo. And you're starting to find that you're certainly gradating the voices, which is really good. Your opening private moment was wonderful. It was just so much more explored the whiskey, the relationship to the cards, the relationship to Mary, the relationship to the loneliness. So that was so artful and so interesting. And how did you feel about that?
No, I felt that I was making the right steps forward on that.
But that's what we're here to do today.
Yeah.
So when you get lost, I think part of it is just because you're in the process, but also I think it's because the rhythms and the tempos they haven't found their way yet in terms of what he wants to do to soothe himself, what he wants to do to Edmund, how he responds to Edmund, the tuberculosis, the drinking. Many things you both found were very creative, and it was the next rehearsal, which was terrific. You found the thing with the knee. You found you were much more specific about the TV. When I said to you, Michael, you have something I want to take away from you right away, which is that when you're general in your work, you smile.
I can see that.
And what it is it's going to become a mannerism if you don't stop it now. Your intelligence and your instincts are really good. And your sensitivity is enormous. But you've got to do the voice class, articulation class. You've got to leave your face alone and earn the smile, because it is a way of hiding. You grimace with your face, but what you've got to understand that your eyes are so powerful. And I want you to know that. When your face is open, we see much of who you are in a very positive way. And when you grimace, it's a mask that you do to hide generality, and also, I suspect, I could be wrong, to hide your sensitivity sometimes, which I feel is probably acute, and probably something you learn to joke around with your friends and a way to fit in. And it's not fair to who you are. You don't have to do that anymore. Is that true, or did I just...
The way I think of it is that I know that as an actor, I have a lot of fun with comedy, and I think that maybe I use that as a shield. And so when it comes into this work, I guess the smile that I get, I can. I'm trying to place it, but yeah, I understand when I fix my face, like with the poem, it felt a lot simpler and a lot nicer when I was just leaving it alone, allowing the thoughts to move forward.
And you've got to be very, very aware of, oh, I'm doing that now. Am I wanting to do the smile and the grimace, or is that not specific? And am I fudging here and not making a choice?
Yeah.
And that's vital for you to get right now, because you may very well get a television series, you may very well do great. I hope you do if that's what you want, but I'm talking to you about your longevity as an actor, but I'm also talking about film. I'm talking about you have to do less with your face and let it come through your eyes, and since your eyes are so expressive, you want to be very specific with how you use your face. There's an important note for you to get. What do you feel when you hear that?
I understand it. I can, I think there's points where I guess I thought and I used that. I don't know, but there was also points where I felt I did something with my face and it's like, oh, am I trying to contrive something? And that's why I kind of caught that when you told me to stop, and I'm like, yes, that's what I'm doing. I can feel that.
Good, good. And when you know what else was so much more powerful today? Mary. When you both looked up and it was silent in the house, I really saw both of your relationship, and it was so lonely. Because when a child grows up with that kind of guilt and addiction, it just devastates him, and now that he's ill. So, and you did more specific work on the TV. What did you find?
The sweats. There's a thing where I kind of wrote, when does the blood? I think of the fear of blood. So like I look down, it's not blood, great. And then when it is, like it's devastating. I remember kind of working with that for the first time when I kind of imagined the blood there we went through. At one point, I'm like, I actually kind of like started to bawl. I'm like, I saw the blood, and it was like So that it just helps a lot to connect with it.
You have no idea when you are specific, simple, and chosen, your personal power. And your father has it, and you haven't. You're a dynasty. So, I want to go back where we stopped to you talking about Mary and letting yourself, and you're much more specific about how the whiskey's affecting you, the way you do the cards. I mean, you're a very deep actor, Lindsay, and you have to allow yourself to be able to find all the countries and cities that live in you when you play a part, you know? This is just you as an artist, you know? I'm not looking for a quick performance. I'm hoping you'll do this part in a great production of it and bring all the things that you're so right for this part. And you have the actor and the grandness, and then there's a start to when you want to be confiding in him or confident, or you need him to be impressed by you, or you need to castigate him, or you need to be buddies together. And it's like that. I'm your son. I don't want to hear about your sexual life. But the whiskey makes him go there, and his guilt about Mary. And when you watch what addiction does to beauty, alcoholics and drug addicts, they lose their looks. And when you see who they were, and you look at a picture of them, and then you see what the destruction has done to their beauty, it's heartrending. So in a way, it's a respite. I hope she doesn't come down. Oh, lad, I remember. And for a moment you visit that time in history. And you get lost in it. And he says, Dad, come back. Come back. I don't want to hear about it. And it's about finding the next beat. So let's go from the beat of your mother, how the nuns and the beauty. Okay?
As I told you before, you must take your mother's tales of the past with a grain of salt. Piano playing, and a dream of becoming a concert pianist. That was put into her head by the nuns flattering her. She was their pet.
She was what?
She was their pet.
Yes.
They loved her for being so devout.
And let me just say, that's glorious, glorious, the humor. Now you're doing something that's very helpful, so I'm going to use you to illustrate something that an actor just did that was so good. You looked at the past in the whiskey. And that's the memory. And that's called creative physicality that is so necessary in this play. And you're finding it because you're knowing that I'm supporting your creative process in going slow, so you find your specific interpretation of these parts that is yours, and you sign it. Because that's what being an actor is about. There's going to be many men who will play these parts, but not like you, and not like you. So I just wanted to illustrate how provocative and interesting it was to see the mirror of the past through the whiskey. It's so O'Neillian. So go back to that, and when you make fun, the derision, she was their pet. She's so devout. She was a swinger, lad, your mother. There. Relationships to persons, places, objects, and events. The whiskey. Yes, you know when an actor endows an object the way that you are, that they understand the craft of bringing life on the stage through persons, places, objects, and events.
as I was saying, lad, you must take her tales of the past with a grain of salt. Her piano playing and her dream of becoming a concert pianist, that was put into her head by the nuns flattering her. She was their pet. They loved her for being so devout. And the idea that she might be a nun, oh, that's the worst. She is the most beautiful girl you could ever see. And she knew it too. Oh, she was a bit of a rogue and a coquette. God bless her. Oh, God bless her with all her shyness and blushing. She was not meant to renounce the world. She was full of health and high spirits and the love of loving.
For God's sake. Why do you pick up your hand?
Listen. She's moving around a lot up there.
She's coming downstairs.
Just stay here, lad. Lad.
I don't see her.
Oh, thank God.
The hardest thing to take is the blank wall she built around her.
Big breath. Take a big, big, big breath. Stay right there, Michael. You have to take responsibility for how deeply you feel things. Big breath.
The hardest thing to take is the blank wall she builds around her. To get beyond our reach. To be rid of us. To forget we're alive. It's as if, in spite of loving us, she hated us.
No, lad. It's not her. It's the damned poison.
She takes it to get that effect. At least I know she did this time.
She's terribly frightened about your illness, for all her pretending. You must try and not be too hard on her, lad. You have to remember she's not responsible. Once that cursed poison gets a hold on anyone...
It never should have gotten a hold on her. I know damned well she's not to blame. And I know who is. You are.
Oh.
Your damn stinginess.
Oh.
If you spent the money for a decent doctor when she was so sick after I was born, she'd never have known morphine existed.
Good, right there. Look right at him. Look right at him, Michael. It's you. You're the one. Get him.
Instead, you put her in the hands of a hotel quack who wouldn't admit his ignorance and took the easiest way out, not giving a damn what happened to her afterwards, all because his fee was cheap. Another one of your bargains.
Be quiet! You've got to understand, lad. You have to see my side of it too. I mean, how did I know what type of a doctor he was? I mean, he came with a very good reputation.
Among the souses at the hotel bar, I suppose.
That's a lie! I asked the hotel proprietor to recommend a bet!
Yes! Well, at the same time crying poor I was and making it plain you wanted a cheap one. I know your system. By God, I ought to after this afternoon.
What do you mean, this afternoon?
Never mind now. We're talking about Mama. I'm saying no matter how you excuse yourself, you know damn well your stinginess is to blame.
And I say, you're a damn liar!
you found out she'd been made a morphine addict, why didn't you send her into a cure then? At the start, while she still had a chance? No, that would have meant spending some money. I'll bet you told her all she needed to do was use a little willpower. That's what you still believe. That's what you still believe in your heart, in spite of what doctors who really know something about it have told you.
You lie. I know better than that now. But what did I know then? What did I know about morphine? It took me years to understand. I thought she just hadn't got over her sickness, that's all. Oh. You say to me, why didn't I send her to a cure? Didn't I? I spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on cures. What good have they done? No good at all. She still goes back on it. Jesus.
Because you've never given her anything but help her want to stay off it. No home except this summer dump in a place she hates. And you refused even to spend money to make this look decent. While you continue to buy more property. And play sucker for every con man with a gold mine or a silver mine or any type of get-rich-quick swindle. You dragged her on the road season after season on one-night stands with no one she could talk to! Waiting night after night in dirty hotel room for you! To come back with a bun on after the bars have closed! Christ, it's any wonder she didn't want to be cured. Jesus, when I think of it, I hate your guts.
Edmund! How dare you speak to your father like that? After all I've done for you.
We'll get to that, what you're doing for me.
Will you stop repeating your mother's crazy accusations? Which she only makes them. Which is on that bloody poison. And I did not take her on the road against her will. I loved her. And she loved me. That's why she came. And that's the truth, no matter what she says when she's on that goddamn poison. And she needn't have been lonely. And there was members of my company to talk to, if she wanted. And then she had her children too. And I insisted, in spite of the expense, to have a nurse travel with her.
Yes. Your one generosity. And that because you were jealous of her spending too much time with us. You wanted us out of your way. It was another mistake, too. If she'd have to take care of me all by herself, and at that, to occupy her mind, maybe she'd be able to get over the morphine.
Death! Or for that matter, if you insist on judging things the way she is, when she's on that goddamn poison, if you had never been born, she would never, ever have acted. Ah!
Oh, sure. I know that's how she feels, Papa.
Oh, no, she doesn't. She loves you as dearly as ever mother loved the son. I only said it because you put me in such a goddamn rage, raking up the past and saying that you hated me.
I didn't mean it, Papa. I'm like Mama. I can't help liking you in spite of everything.
Oh. Well, I might say the same of you. You're no great shakes as a son. It's a case of a poor thing, but mine own. Lad. You must not be so downhearted by the news that you received today. I mean, both of the doctors told me that if you obeyed orders at this place that you're going, you'd be cured in 6 months or a year at most.
Don't kid me, Papa. You don't believe that.
I do believe it. Why would I not believe it? I mean, both the doctors said that you think I'm gonna die. That's a lie!
So why waste the money? That's why you're sending me to the State Farm.
What State Farm? It's the Hilltown Sanatorium. That's all I know. And both doctors said it was the best place for you.
For the money. That is for nothing. Or practically nothing. Don't lie about it. You know damn well the Hilltown Sanatorium is a state institution.
So what if it's run by the state? That's nothing against it. The state has the money to make a better place than any private sanatorium. And both doctors said it's the best place for you.
And then you went to the club to meet up with McGuire and let him stick you with another bum piece of property.
Oh, Edmund.
Don't lie about it.
Oh.
We met McGuire in the hotel bar after he left you. Jamie kidded him about hooking you, and he winked and laughed.
They lie.
Don't lie about it! God, Papa. Ever since I went to sea and was on my own and found out what hard work for little pay was, and what it felt like to be broke and starve and camp on park benches because I had no place to sleep, I have tried to be fair to you because I knew what you were up against as a kid.
Stay right there, Michael. If you could go anywhere on the stage right now, where would you go out of your instincts? I've tried ever since I went to sea. Where do you want to go, Michael? Where do you want to go? Okay, go on, go on.
God, Papa. Ever since I went to sea and was on my own and found out what hard work for a little pay was, and what it felt like to be broke and starve and camp on park benches because I had no place to sleep, I have tried to be fair to you. Because I knew what you were up against as a kid. I've tried to make allowances. Christ, you have to make allowances in this damn family or go nuts.
Big breath. Say that again.
Christ, you have to make allowances in this damn family or go nuts.
One more time. Big breath.
Christ, you have to make allowances in this damn family or go nuts. I've tried to make allowances for myself when I remember all the rotten stuff I've pulled. I've tried to feel like Mama, but you can't help being what you are where money is concerned. But God Almighty, this last stunt of yours is too much. It makes me want to puke! And not because of the rotten way you've treated me. To hell with that! I've treated you rottenly in my own way more than once. But to think of when it's a question of your son having consumption, you can show yourself before the whole town in such a stinking tightwad! Don't you know how you will talk? And the whole damn town will know! God, Papa! I don't do any pride or shame! And don't think I'll let you get away with it! I won't go to any damn state bunches to sing you lousy guns my own pop pop! Be quiet! Be quiet! Hey, stop that coughing!
Oh. Lad. Oh. You have worked yourself up, lad. You don't have to go to this place. Okay? You don't have to go to this place. I don't care what it costs. All I care is that you get well. But don't call me a miser. I don't want these damn donkers thinking I am a millionaire that they can swindle. You look weak, lad. You gotta take a bracer. Maybe you're right. Maybe I am a miser. But all my life, I have thrown money over the bars to pay for drinks for everybody in the house, and gave money to sponges who I knew would never pay me back. But of course, that is in the bar rooms when I'm full of whiskey. I can't feel that way in my own home when I'm sober. It was in my home that I learned the value of a dollar. I could never believe in my luck since. I always thought it would leave me. I feared that my luck would change and everything I had would be taken away from me. You know, you think if you have property, you're safe. Banks fail, and your money's gone. But if you have land beneath your feet, you're safe. You said you knew what I was up against as a boy. The hell you do. How could you? You had nurses, schools, college, though you didn't stay there. You had food, clothing. Oh, I know you had a fling with hard work, your back in your hands, and a bit of being penniless and homeless. But it was a game to you, of romance and adventure. It was play.
Yes. Especially the time I tried to commit suicide at Jimmy the Priest's and almost did.
You were not in your right mind. You were drunk. No son of mine!
I was stone cold sober. That was the problem. Stop thinking too long.
What do you know of the value of a dollar? when I was 10 years old. My father deserted my mother, and he went back to Ireland to die, which he did soon enough, and he deserved. I hope that he'd roasting in hell. My mother was left a stranger in a strange land with 4 small children. Me, my older sister, and 2 younger than me. There was no damned romance in our poverty. Twice we were evicted from our miserable hovel that we called home. My mother's few sticks of furniture thrown out into the street. My mother was crying. My sisters too. I cried too, but I tried not to, because I was the man of the family. 10 years old, I worked 12 hours a day in a machine shop, learning to make files in a dirty barn of a place, while rain ripped through the roof. And in the summer it was scorching hot, and in the summer there was no stove, and so your hands were numb and cold. And the little light that came through 2 dirty, filthy windows. So on the grey days, I would have to bend over, sit there with my eyes so bloody close to the fire so I could see. You talk of work. What do you know about work? And what do you think I've done for it? 50 cents! 50 cents a week! That's it! And my mother. Oh, God bless her. God bless her. I remember one Thanksgiving, or maybe it was Christmas, in some home, my mother was scrubbing. Some Yank gave her $1 as a present. And on the way home, she spent it all on food. Oh, she hugged and she kissed us with tears of joy running down her tired face. Glory be to God. For once in our lives, there will be enough for each of us. A brave, sweet woman. There never was a braver or finer.
Yes. She must have been.
Her worst fear was that she would get sick and die in the poorhouse. Oh, it was in those days I learned to be a miser. When you learn those lessons, lad, that you can't forget them. I mean, if I took the Hilltown Sanatorium as a bargain, you'll have to forgive me. You can go anywhere you like. I don't care what it costs. Don't care what it costs. As long as it... Oh,
within reason?
I don't care what it costs. As long as it's as if as long if it's in reason.
For mine now. Doesn't matter again.
Oh.
How about our game? Whose play is it?
Mine, I guess.
Okay. Talk about long day's journey into night, right? But we got it. And you both had. You understand, you know what's so wonderful to watch you both do this? To hear Mr. O'Neill, that he writes with his father with such compassion. That's an amazing triumph of an artist, to go back to his life and to be Edmund and know that your father would let you die rather than spend money because of his terror of poverty. And even after he realizes it, he still says you can go anywhere you want to go. Anywhere within reason. The terror of poverty. And you brought that, Lindsay. You understand this very, very deeply, and I'm so happy to see you take the time to find it. You know, you have real, true tragedian in you because you also understand the antic, the ironic, and the comic. And the combination of that with the grief and the rage and the wanting to justify what you've done creates a portrait of a man. And how O'Neill, it's like at the end when Edmund says about the mother, she must have been, that you actually, I mean, this is the genius of this play, that after that outbreak of rage against him wanting to save money and willing to see you die, that he tells you why and that you have compassion.
Yeah.
Is unfucking believable. And isn't it what happens in families?
Yeah, I didn't think he would get me on my, like, me on his side, and then by the end of the mall I was like, yeah.
But this is It's just, you know, I don't want to be, you know, overstate this, but it's really something to see a father and son do this scene. Or actually father and son, and to see the parts of you that are in Michael, and then the parts that are his mother, and then the part that are just Michael, which is true of all of us, that we have the mother and the father, and then we have this innate us that is like no one, because it's kind of cosmos. Some extraordinary O'Neillian moments you both found. How'd you feel, Michael?
Good, yeah. It's interesting how you used to allow it to affect you. You know, I was just like, my thought for the rest of that scene, I'm like, I'm not going to think about my mouth, my face, just like think about breathing and allowing the scene to move forward.
And then all the dams broke loose. And when I said to you, you trust yourself, you trust your emotional destination. And you went to the fourth wall, which was fascinating and very powerful. I think you would need to turn on, but to think, that, because then you began to indict him. So that's just staging and moments that you find. You know what I thought was wonderful for the class to see was the geography of the scene, how dense it is, how long it is, how much sensory work there is, how much intention work there is, how much destination work there is, how much verbal life there is, how much emotion there is. I mean, you don't take a look at this kind of material and go, oh, piece of cake. You go, you go, oh my God. It's like if you go, and you should go to BAM and see Brian Dennehy and Nathan Lane do Iceman Comet, you know, that they would take it on. And And
We saw it the other
Yeah, it was,
how was it?
all 5 hours.
yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was amazing how 5 hours they kept my attention. I was like intermission already. Like it was, like, it was amazing how they just kept your attention. They were able to just. I was entertained the whole time. It was good. Yeah, definitely. The whole cast was strong. It was good.
I was down morbid.
Yes, it's damn morbid.
Yeah.
But it's very Edward Hopper, isn't it? It's very, the visual is so taken from Edward Hopper, and that lighting and everything is just, you know, being an artist is a miraculous and honorable and horrifyingly beautiful thing. And when you take it on, as you did today, the two of you, and we were able to watch the process, I can't teach better than what you taught us by the way you went about working on this, and how made little adjustments with you, and then how you took it on. And again, Lindsay, I so applaud the time you take. You have your way of working, and you have to honor that. And in a way, by that, you're teaching your son to take time with himself.
I need to work on that, and I definitely. Yeah.
No. It's your nature is very different, and therefore some of the things you can take from your father. One of the things that's so positive is how deep he is, and you have all that depth. But as all young people do, you'll rush through things, and what you observed him doing, and then you did, was take your time to find it. And I want you to know this, that when they were rehearsing Death of a Salesman, for 4 weeks, Lee J. Cobb never got up out of his chair. And they went to a run-through. All the producers came to watch a run-through of Death of a Salesman, and everyone else was blocked, and Lee J. Cobb never got up. And they all went to Elia Kazan and said, he never got up. He never got up. We're starting previews in 3 days. And Kazan said, because he knew, like I know you, he said, he will. An opening preview, J. Cobb got up. And the world was never the same. It was just his way of finding his performance, which is now legendary. So I know you now. And when you go blank, you're like a great navigator. And I know you now, so I just, you know what I mean? And you know you're safe here. And there's no judgment, because you're a true tragedian. And part of that is the awareness of the depth of human pain. And you can get lost in that, which is so important that you have irony and comedy and antic joy. Because as you balance that out, it's devastating. And you have it too. It's extraordinary. I will remember this forever to see the two of you. I will remember this forever. As I see you give great performances, and I see your career grow and prosper, Michael. I will remember this day. And the beauty of the two of you and Mr. O'Neill swimming together in this sea of greatness.
I grabbed the coffee at his birthplace this morning.
Say that
I
again.
grabbed the coffee at his birthplace this morning.
How did that feel?
It was interesting. Yeah, it was cool. It was funny. I lost my handkerchief, and then when I left, and then when I came back.
Can you slow down?
Sorry, yeah, I get excited.
I know, it's wonderful. Let's get excited and slow down.
I lost my handkerchief.
I heard you.
Yeah. And then when I came back to the hotel after having that coffee, I found it in my pocket.
Yeah, eerie. You know, one night, I don't know if I told you this, Nathan Lane told me that he was in Chicago doing it, you know, and Brian Dennehy, who had played Dickie in another production, turned to Nathan and said, Nathan, you have it. Trust me. Just a kind of fatherly giving the youngster the permission to trust himself. And Nathan told me that that night on stage, he had a spiritual awakening of the writer on his shoulder. That Eugene O'Neill navigated him through that play. That he breathed and trusted all his homework and didn't think and just went and said it was. Literally, he was overtaken by the spirit of O'Neill. And he's working through that every night. And again, bless Nathan Lane. He didn't have to do this. He chose to put himself out there in the most difficult part ever written for a man in the American theater. That's how hungry he is for his own excellence. And you have that. It's time to give that. And for a young man, you are deeply, deeply profound, Michael. And when you got up then, and you turned to him with all that rage, and you felt that TNT go through you, and your voice opened up, and you gave it to him, it was even Steven, man. And that's saying a lot, because your father's one powerful motherfucker. And so are you. What did you just feel?
No. Well, what did I feel?
That is the question. Yeah, I'm interested in that. What did you feel, Mike?
During that there?
Yeah, or any time.
It was an impulse. An impulse.
There you go. That's right. That's the thing you've got to trust.
Yeah.
That's why I said go where you want to go.
Yeah, all of a sudden I was there, and then all of a sudden I was here, all of
Yeah.
a sudden I was there, you know?
No, but you understand that that's the right way to work. All of a sudden I had something tell me during the process of creativity, something talked to me, something told me. That's the essence of creativity. It's putting that instinct and your heart and your mind working together in the process of finding. And a good director will say, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? I don't know. Well, let's try this, let's try that. And then, oh yes, keep that. And you know, it's the company of acting. Why we love it, because we're together. You know, actors want a company to be together and to work through great writing. So you should just both play this. Really, to find the rest of the company, to find Jamie and Mary and work on it and do a production of it. And if you wish, because the casting's brilliant, the talent is glorious, and I'm very, very grateful that you came to do this, and that you came to class, Michael, and that you shared with us so much. And I also want you to know that we really got Mr. O'Neill today. That we were transported in moments to greatness. That we heard the magnificence, and that word applies, the magnificence of Eugene O'Neill. He's a magnificent artist. And he would not allow this play to be done. He wrote it in 1942. It wasn't published until 1956.
That was too early for him.
And 3 years after he died.
Okay.
And then finally, I think in 1957 or something, they did it with Florence Eldridge and Frederick March on Broadway, and the world saw a family, blood and guts and terror and all. And this play will never die, ever. They're just waiting for the actors like Vanessa Redgrave and Ralph Richardson and Jason Robards to bring it alive. It's true, true greatness. Whenever I go through sadness or depression, the thing that always saves me is the writers. Because I go, I have no right to not continue to grow when a play like this exists. I must go for the positive, because Shakespeare exists, because O'Neill and Williams and Miller and Molière and John Steinbeck and William Faulkner and Hemingway and Dostoevsky and that great artists exist, which is the best of life. Therefore, we must, no matter what we're going through, remember in the darkest of times that there is human greatness and that we can be a part of that. And we were today. So, you know, when you do this work, you go, I don't want to do anything for the rest of my life but this. So it's 1:45. I'll see you at 1:45. Thank you.